Alright guys, welcome to this week's review from Magnetic Trading. So as usual, we'll kick off how we fared in the markets last week and more importantly how our clients are getting on. We're then going to give you some tips on how to trade and survive in these volatile conditions. So since really the beginning of this year, 2020, because of all the COVID news, the markets have been very, very volatile. And now, if you're a newbie trader, or even if you've got quite a bit of experience, it's been a testing time. So we're going to give you some tips on how to survive this and also how to invest properly. So hang on for that one. And we're also going to give you some weekly analysis on where we feel the markets are going, especially with the presidential election being decided over the next few days. Alrighty, so last week we had two unofficial wins on the FTSE and we had one official loss. So overall, another profitable week, just profitable. We didn't make a big profit last week. It was tricky conditions. We actually did see a big sell-off from the markets. But even with that, with the three trades we've just highlighted, we did come out on top. So what I want to really talk to you now about is surviving in these volatile market conditions. So I think the first thing to do, the first tip number one is don't pay attention too much to the news that's coming out of the TV. So, you know, Bloomberg, CNN, whatever the news medium is, don't make trading decisions on that news. Because A, if you didn't know it, the markets are pricing in information 6 months ahead of when you see it on the TV screen. So don't make decisions then, because the market's already way ahead of you. Secondly, good news can be bad news to someone and bad news can be good news to someone. So that again is a good reason not to base a trading decision just on a piece of news that you see, because the markets could respond positively even if you think it's bad news. And again, in markets, the intuitive thought is usually the wrong thought. Markets usually do completely the opposite to what you first think or how you first think they're going to react to a piece of news. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is diversify. So if you're just putting your money into one stock, maybe you may have been hit pretty badly this year, because a lot of the big blue chip stocks have been hit and some of them are down 40-50%. So here at Magnetic Trading, we specifically like to trade on index markets. So an index market has some of the best companies within the basket, and it really limits our risk. So if the markets do go down, they're likely to rebound fairly quickly. Whereas if you're just investing in one stock, it can take years and years, and maybe they may never recover. So you do really want to spread your risk, and index trading is a very good way to do that. So FTSE, which is the UK market, DAX, the German market, Dow, the American market, aka Wall Street. Okay, tip number three for surviving in volatile markets is you can certainly invest. Now, this year we've seen major moves across the markets, and we've seen a considerable amount of value come out of the markets. Now that's actually the time to invest. Okay, it's, you know, when there's really bad news in the markets, fallen away quite a bit, we call it there's blood on the floor, then that is when you want to be getting involved in the markets and investing. So we do invest here at Magnetic Trading as well as short-term trade on the index markets, but we do it slightly differently. We don't use leverage. What we do is we buy the entire index. So let's just take the example of the FTSE. FTSE, it's trading around 5,500 at the moment. So if the index is off 30-40%, then we want to go in for the long run. Now we're not saying we picked the exact bottom. It could fall another 10%, but we're happy to invest at 30-40% off the market with a view that in 2, 3, 4 years the market's going to be considerably higher. But what we don't want to do is just get stopped out on a big violent move overnight and then the next day the market's up, because some of the biggest moves on the market happen in about 5 trading days of the year. So by buying the entire index, we don't need a stop. So if we, for example, if we had a $10,000 account and we bought the whole of the FTSE, then we need to be basically allocating $5,500 into the FTSE. So we buy the entire market, and that means we'll be investing $1. So that means we can only really invest $1, but we've got a bigger account, so we could actually go in, say 1.5, maybe almost up to $2 if we wanted to. And that means that our account size will cover, big swings in the market, and we're taking a long-term view on where the market's going. So that's a nice way to invest if you're going to do it across a trading platform. Or maybe have a different trading platform, have a trading platform just for short-term trading, and then have another trading platform for your investing. But as I said, with our pro traders, which is our top tier program, we do recommend, we've actually just bought the FTSE actually, we recommended getting some positions into the FTSE at 5,550. That's surviving in volatile markets and how to profit without getting flushed out of the market. So analysis for the week. Well, what we want to be paying attention on the FTSE is a full daily bar closing below 5550. So 5550 has been a real technical level on the charts for a long time. It's something that I've been talking about through many months now. And at the moment, we're just consolidating around that level. We have not seen a full daily bar close and break below it. That means that the full daily bar on the daily chart, you need to see the full bar actually closing below 5550. The whole bar needs to be below that level, and then a subsequent break of that level would confirm, okay, the market is now turning bearish long term. So again, if we don't see that, what we're seeing at the moment is still buying opportunities. It's just consolidating around at the moment, flushing long-term investors out. And again, if we don't see that, you can see the market ramp up over the coming weeks and months. Stay safe out there, guys. We'll see you next week. And presidential elections, if you are with our programs, join us early in our live room this week, because there are bound to be some very good opportunities.